Well, Paul here. I'm in Dufton. Just been playing at a funeral for a chap called Rob Sargent, a great Scottish country dancer. I didn't ken Rob, but he seemed like a genuinely great guy. That he added a lot to the world. You can somebody that made the world a better place. But it was because Colin Dewar, who collaborated with him on books and CDs on Scottish country dancing, so that's when he did Our World actually. But I'm here in Dufton, so I thought what I'd do is make a wee film of the drive back to Tarland, which takes us through the Cabrach. So we'll get a few bits and pieces. I'll get my wee amigo here, Bran. There he is. He's getting upset. There's a dog out there. But I'm in the middle of the town, so we might just, if I open the window, you'll see, looking up the middle of Dufton there. So, I'll see you in a bit. See what it talks about. I just discovered it's a whisky festival today, and that put me in mind. I can come in here, look at this. That's this is far we're coming in. There you go, look. Whisky festival. And possibly the most famous whisky distillery in the world. Coming up here, Glenfinnick. Of course, I was the Glenfinnick champion once upon a time, although they cancelled the festival. But this is the distillery, quite a place. I think it's 7 distilleries in Dufton. Really nicely laid out and looked after. And up ahead it, look, another of the distilleries up here is Balvenie, and that is Glenfinnick Castle, which quite impressive. Got a lovely big curtain wall there, but look at this Glenfinnick. At that place, must make some amount of money. But I'm not going in to see every distillery, but okay, it's quite a thing. So there's Balvenie. Powerful place. There's a great tune actually called Miss Cameron of Balvenie. I suppose she maybe, well, it might have been there, but by that time, 1700s, were probably buying in fancy houses. I guess is the rail line that runs all the way to Keith. Very sedate speed, but passes a number of distilleries. That's another end down there, look. They're all over the place in this part of the world. So anyway, come far enough. Some Highland coos up there. Very picturesque, look. As we speak, look, here it goes, there's a train. And there's something very pleasing about a train going past. Oh, now that tanker is probably full of whisky. Anyway, you can come up for Keith. It's a great experience. It's quite slow, but it is lovely. And they've got a carriage that does teas and dinners and things like that. It's well worth going to see. So anyway, you could argue this is the whisky capital of the world, Dufton actually. So I just stopped for something for my dinner at the cost cutter, and there was folk from all over the world in there, Japanese, German and Americans, all looking at whisky. So there you go, that's Glenfinnick for you. Well, this is I come down the road a bit, this is the Speyside Cooperage, and this is for the mark the whisky barrels for all the whisky round about here, and the repurpose barrels as well. Can't get in a boot just now, I'm not going to go around it, but it's well worth coming to see. It's a great skill marking these barrels. So if you're ever in the area in Murray, come and see a whisky distillery, and come and see the Cooperage as well. So there you go. This was a good view. The Cooperage. This Bran hates tractors for some reason. He does every tractor he sees. He does that. But anyway, there you go. Look at all that. Out the back of the Speyside Cooperage. Amazing. Well, folks, you've heard of Glenfinnick whisky. That is the Finnick. And just above it, on the hill there, it's in a very imposing ruin. That's the ruins of Arkhamdon Castle, which was the the seat of Adam Gordon at Arkhamdon, the younger brother of the Earl of Huntly back in the late 1500s, time of Mary Queen of Scots and James VI. And he was pretty close to being a sociopath, I would have said. He burnt Cabrach Castle and killed 37 folk within it, including the laird's wife and kids. The laird wasn't there. There was a bloody feud between the Forbeses and the Gordons at the time, and they took different sides in a national disagreement. The Forbeses were Protestant and the Gordons were Catholic. But he was a bit of a hard case. He won the Battle of Tillyongus for the Gordons, Battle of Crabston. Was sent to Paris to get a war because he was possibly becoming a bit of a liability, but he survived an assassination attempt for one of the relatives, Black Arthur Forbes, who was killed at Tillyongus. Ended up dying in his bed at old age, but anyway, it's quite an imposing place. There is a ballad which Shona sings actually. It goes a bit like as I came in by Fiddick's side on a May morning, I spied Willie Mackintosh an hour afore the dawning. Turn again, turn again, turn again, I bid thee. If ye burn Arkhamdon, Huntly he will heed ye. And it did burn it, so there you go. Well, that's us just into the Cabrach now. I'll say a bit more about it in a bit, but that's the famous Grouse Inn, great whisky bar. I think it's shut just now, it doesn't open all the time, but we'll be passing it just shortly. So that's the Grouse Inn, great watering hole. It's not open just now, which is a shame, but it's got a fantastic bar with a huge range of whiskies in it, but great place for a session actually, although I done it myself. It's so far from anywhere. You have to drive home. You couldn't have a pint if you were coming up here to play, but it'd be a good place to bide the night, I have to say. Well, that's looking up to the Buck of the Cabrach. So Cabrach have been driving through. I suppose this is still a Cabrach. And that looks across to Tapa North, where it's famous hill fort on the top, second highest hill fort in Scotland up on the top of there. But they believe there might have been as much as 8,000 folk lived on the slopes of that hill. It's quite amazing. And it's got a beautiful fort outer wall around the top as well, worth going up if you get the chance. But the Cabrach, what a sad place it is, one of the saddest places in Scotland, just full of ruined houses. I mean, stopping here right in front of us, that's another place in there. And it's really the First World War's because of that, largely. They reckon there wasn't hardly a man came back to the Cabrach for the First World War. There was so many of them killed. And so no young men to take on the farms, and so eventually they just one by one become empty. So for my granny was born in 1923, this place would have had a lot of houses that would have been livable, but there are ruins now. Messly. And this was also one of the top places for illicit stilling in the whole of Scotland at one time. Huge amount of illicit whisky whiskey come out of here. So there you go. That's a Cabrach. Of course, they've not got a very good laird here now. The boy got chucked off the Lloyd's list for shady practices. He's been trying to get rid of as many folk as he can. The folk that's left, not a very nice guy, I'm afraid. Well, I'm out at the Cabrach now, very near onto the road between, well, it's a Huntley road, but between Lumsden and Riney. But we're in Auckland now. It's a district, there's no village, and that's the historic Auckland Kirk. I'm in a bit of a hurry, so I'm going to get out the car. It's the height of laziness I can, but yep. Apparently King Robert the Bruce once worshipped there when he was up in the area. So anyway, Auckland. There's a great tune actually, the Lament for Sir Harry Niven Lumsden of Auckland by William Marshall. Bonny slow air. Da 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 dum da dum da da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum. Better if you listen to it on YouTube. I think I have recorded it, so if you want to find out how it should go, name my dodgy singing, go on, find it on YouTube. The Lament for Sir Harry Niven Lumsden of Auckland. Anyway, it's a beautiful spot.